Hello, my name is Veronica Entwistle, and I'm bringing a new television series called Paradigm Shifters to you. And who are paradigm shifters? People making a difference in the collective of our species at this time of rapid change. And I have a very exciting paradigm shifter with me today, Christine Upchurch. Welcome to the show, Christine.
Thank you, Veronica. I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad you're here too. And Christine works with something called the Reconnection, which was brought through by Eric Pearl, Dr. Eric Pearl, who's a chiropractor. At least he started out that way. And what on earth is the Reconnection? Is it just another energy system?
Well, reconnective healing is the type of healing that came through Eric originally. After a strange series of events, suddenly people were experiencing all sorts of shifts, from physical shifts that had nothing to do with chiropractic care to feeling the presence of others in the room when in fact nobody else besides Eric was there. People could feel his hands before he touched them. And eventually people were coming from all over the world because word got out that this was an amazing healing ability.
There's a lot of healing going on?
Absolutely, from birth disfigurements to AIDS-related complexes.
Wow.
To cancers. Some amazing, well-documented evidence of complete remissions and healings. And some
How
of the people,
exciting.
oh yeah, it must have been very exciting at that point. This is in the 1990s. And many of the people he worked on said, you know what, Eric, ever since you worked on me, my hands are buzzing. I feel like I could do this work. And at first he was reluctant, and eventually they twisted his arm and he began teaching us. And he learned that yes, you can share these healing frequencies, and for whatever reason you seem to have some sort of direct interaction with them. And you can teach people how to facilitate healings in their own right, as amazing as the ones that Eric originally saw in his practice and continues to see today.
So what are frequencies?
Frequencies
Big question. Eh?
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, frequencies are a broader way of talking about energy and more. Frequencies contain energy, but with reconnective healing, it also contains light and information, if you will. It's a broader sense. And when you think about energy, such as energy healing, energy, if you're around a campfire, you get close, you get toasty warm. What happens as you move farther away from that campfire? The heat dissipates, right?
Dissipates, yeah.
The energy decreases. For all types of energy, according to Dr. Gary Schwartz, the University of Arizona, energy will either dissipate or in some rare cases it will stay the same. But what happens with reconnective healing is as you move farther away, the person on the table tends to respond more. And in fact, with the DNA research that researchers have done with us, they've shown that the person who got the farthest away actually affected the fastest healing of the damaged DNA. So this contains energy and is so much more.
Wow. So, well, then I guess I would jump to the conclusion that absentee healing or distance healing is really what reconnective healing is good for. Is that right?
Well, it's both in person and distance. Bill Tiller from Stanford, he's a professor of quantum physics, amazing man,
Right,
brilliant man.
He was in What the Bleep, wasn't
Yes,
he?
indeed, yeah. And he's shown that with reconnective healing, we seem to be tapping into something outside of our space-time continuum. So something more.
And it's measurable?
It's absolutely measurable in various ways, various frequencies specifically, and what he's measured is what's called thermodynamic free energy, and I don't really understand it completely, but it's his way of looking at what is happening in the seminar room when people are going about learning this work. And the theory that he's come up with based on the data he's collected is that somehow with reconnective healing we seem to be tapping into that part of the universe that's outside of our space-time continuum, and where time and space, distance, is all irrelevant. And as we tap into that via this connection, this reconnection, if you will, instantaneously something drops down from that part of the universe into this reality. And that explains why people have often sudden shifts, complete healings after just a few moments of interacting with reconnective healing.
So are you saying that it's a cycle, that if you're working with someone, the frequencies touch you as well?
Yes, indeed. And as you know, Veronica, I'm a practitioner, so I'm steeped in these, but I also teach seminars. I'm one of 3 people besides Eric Pearl who teaches this. And in the seminar room as well, we get immersed in these frequencies. And Bill Tiller and also Konstantin Krotkov have measured these frequencies.
He's in Russia?
Yes, from Russia. An energy medicine researcher there has measured this in various ways. And the room shifts dramatically.
Wow.
Interestingly enough, it shifts before we ever arrive to teach the seminar.
How exciting.
So it's like the universe gets things amped up for the attendees so that they can undergo their shift. So yes, I'm immersed in these frequencies on a daily basis, one way or another. And I've had many people tell me I look at least 10 years younger than I truly am. But you know, across the board, many people who are involved with this work get told that they have a certain luminosity to their appearance. And really, the name of Eric's book, Eric wrote that book, The Reconnection. The subtitle is Heal Others, Heal Yourself. And what scientists are saying is that, yes, indeed, we have this field around us, as I know you experience and know all about. And
I don't know all about it because I don't think anybody does anyway, do they? No, it's very
we
exciting.
get little glimpses of it, and it is exciting.
It's very exciting, yeah.
And so there's information, if you will. Greg Braden calls it the divine matrix. Lynn McTaggart calls it the field. And somehow we are tuning in or tapping into the information in that field in order to have that biochemical, physical healing in this reality. They think that it's a matter of tapping into that information. And so with Reconnective Healing, as we introduce these frequencies, you know, at a distance from the person, what we're really doing is, through our bearing witness to the process, introducing this to the field around that person so that their mind, body, spirit, if you will, can interact with that field and create whatever shift is appropriate for that person at that time.
And when the book is called The Reconnection, I know it's Reconnective Healing.
Yes.
And the reconnection is a more complex way of aligning someone to receive it. Am I right?
It is. Reconnective Healing is very free form. I think we're going to demonstrate it later, which will be fun.
Good.
And it's a way of introducing these frequencies so that a person can be immersed in them. Now, this isn't treatment or therapy. This is about immersing a person in these frequencies 1, 2, or 3 times when they're dealing with some sort of problem, and then allowing them to have that vibrational shift, which affects their state of well-being. Now, with the reconnection, it's actually utilizing these same frequencies of healing, but overlaying a new meridian system. You know, meridian systems like in the Chinese meridian system, but it's a different set of pathways that are open-ended that help connect a person to the earth, the energy grid system of the earth, and the fullness of the universe. And we found that with that process, people tend to get more connected with life purpose and life path and speed their way along on that evolutionary path. So once we've interacted with these frequencies in a conscious manner, we can learn to begin to explore around other people. Right now I'm feeling sensations in my right hand. Now, as you may have already noticed, Veronica, she's already got what we call registers going on right there. And I'm not going to say exactly what part of her body I'm looking at. You can see some rapid movement there. Yes. That indicates to my skeptical, rational brain that, oh my goodness, there is some sort of interaction underway. Now, as I feel and stretch, I'm feeling greater sensations in my right hand, and my left hand has begun to buzz, so it wants to get in on the fun as well. So I will begin to explore, all the while observing what's going on with her. Now, as I said earlier, with Reconnective Healing, we're not directing, we're just allowing and feeling and watching and seeing what's happening with the person on the table. And with Emily, it's very clear that there is indeed something very significant going on. Yes, people can go into rapid eye movement, for instance, but typically that takes, say, 45 minutes. So I can move farther and farther away, and yet there's still this connection, as we can see, demonstrated on her face. So with Reconnective Healing, it's about being a catalyst. As human beings, we have great attachment, right? We have laundry lists of things we want to get rid of or ways in which we want to change, grow, heal. And yet, when a person lies down on the table, sometimes they receive that. I've seen amazing healings, both in sessions and in the seminars as well, and as well as with practitioners who've just learned the work. But what's really fun to see is to have somebody come in and suddenly feel a healing of something that they just grown to live with. They had no expectation. Oh, they came in for allergies. Oh, and instead their migraines went away, or something along those lines. So it's fascinating to watch, and the universe is definitely better knowing exactly what's right for that person instead of the human being who's facilitating the healing